Okay, I started another project without you. I'll show you a little bit of what it is. This shop's a big mess because I got so many projects going. I'm using the bandsaw right now to cut some parts that go to it. What are we building this time? Let's go in here and look at the plans. I've got them scattered out. I'm trying to make some of the smaller parts that I'm going to need. So let's sit down here and look at this for just a minute. I don't know if you could see any of this, but it's basically a sheet metal brake or just a metal bending brake. It looks kind of like this. And I've got a whole bunch of, this is a drawing I bought online. So there's like 32 pages of this, and here's kind of a list of materials that I need. So I'm cutting all these 1/2-inch pieces right now out there on the bandsaw. I've cut these 3x3s. I got to chamfer that edge. I'll have to come in and on the mill probably and drill holes on a lot of these. It's not real clear how all this stuff fits together. This is just mainly how to build all the parts to it. And then I've already built a lot of them. I'll show you some of them out here that I've already built. I can't really show you a whole lot of this because it's just so time consuming, and I'm not working on it all the time. I'm just, on weekends and here and there when I have a minute to spend on it. So I went over to Weatherford today and I bought some of the material. That's some 3-inch angle. There's some square tubing still out on the trailer. It's going to be quarter wall, 2.5 square tube. That's just some 3/4 pipe and some 3/4 cold roll there. Some of the parts I've already built on the plasma machine. These are some 3-inch flat bar, different lengths that I made. There's a box of stuff here that I started putting together. Let's just look in this box. See, there's some 1/2-inch that I made on the plasma, cut on the plasma machine the other day. It'll have holes in it. I think it has 2 holes here and then 1 hole there. There's 2 of these, just some angles that go on it. I drew these up and cut these on the plasma. This is part of the crank handle. And there'll be pins, and I haven't machined these yet, but different things I got to machine and build for it. I'm still not sure how it all fits together, but when I was making these fire pits the other day, I was really wishing I had a way to hold the material still and be able to bend it. And I'm going to start doing some 3/16, and I'm going to need a little more help bending that stuff, especially when I'm by myself out here. So as I get moved along here, I may show you a few little clips of this and see if we can keep this short enough to be able to load this probably in a few different parts. Hopefully keep it a little bit interesting here, maybe, but I'm going to get all this ready to cut here in a little bit, and maybe we'll bring you back in here. All right, continuing on with this, I've got several pieces cut already. A few things made on the lathe and the mill. It's kind of noisy around here. We got company this Sunday afternoon, so I'm just going to start cutting this square tube, and then in a minute I'll try to show you kind of where I'm at on some of this. Figured out how this all goes together. Let's see how this all works with this thick wall 1/4 inch, 2.5-inch square tube. Got it set up on the line. I ain't got my glasses on. Burn it. Oh well, just close her eyes or something. the money, 49 inches. I got about 4 30 inches long. Saw works good for this kind of stuff. It's a little easier than setting the bandsaw up. And see how thick it is, 1/4 inch wall. Anyway, I got 5 pieces of this to make, and here's I'll show you how this works out. Kind of figured out. This was supposed to have been 5/8, but I decided to make it 3/4, and I may show you how I did this little bit of a radius on the lathe. Nothing big deal. I think Adam Booth has showed this little trick of how to do this. Just something to grab as you turn that handle. This part, I chamfered this end. It's supposed to be welded in here, so I went ahead and chamfered that to give that weld a little bit of room there. See how that'll weld right in here. And then you'll have a 5/8 bolt that goes in the other part, but it'll have a 5/8 nut that gets welded on the bottom of this. So actually it goes under this. Okay, there we go. That goes like this, and then as we get further along, you'll see how this all works out. I was trying to figure a little better. They had this to where you weld this on. I didn't like that out of this, so I went ahead and put a 5/16 bolt in there, countersunk. Pretty nice solid connection there on that, so I like that a little better. I actually thought about making this a solid tube with a 5/8 thread through the middle of it, but I may just continue on with the way this is. Go ahead, that's pretty solid the way that is, because you'll see later that that has a spring that goes underneath this, and then the bolt goes in another 1/2 inch plate. So it'll be pretty solid the way it's supported there. So anyway, in just a minute, I'll go maybe show you on the lathe how I'm going to make another one of these. And I've been truing these up on the lathe and stuff like that too. Just showing you that. So let's turn around here to the lathe, and I'm going to build these pins. Trying to set this where you can see something. You know, I don't show much machining because it's so hard to do. I don't know how Adam Booth is so good at doing that, but I don't have a lot of time for one thing. So this is that other handle, and I was going to show you that, you know, Adam Booth had showed using these radius tools you can use on the lathe that's really made for milling. It works pretty good. This is just some soft cold roll steel, and this one is the pins that, the pivot pins. I'm just going to have to chamfer the edges of that. I just have a junky little, actually James Green made this for me a long time ago. Just around a piece of high-speed steel. I use it a lot. I have some carbide stuff too, but let me make sure you can see that. I'm going to try to stay out of your way, but I'm just going to face the ends of this, and I may just put a little bit of oil on here just for the heck of it. And I like to use a CCMT. Works the best for getting the best finish I've found on this lathe anyway. Probably on any lathe. So I'm hoping I'm out of your way to do this, and I don't know that you can see this. It's so hard to get a good shot of this, but it's hard for me to work and for you to see it. It's not really anything to see. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. So let's put this at a, let's go about 460 RPMs here and see how we can do. I know you can't see that. Let's just move you around here and see. Whatever you can see, that's just all I can get you right now. I doubt very seriously you're going to see that either. Let's see if I can put you right in here. Sorry about this. I just can't get a good shot for you in this crowded shop. Now let's just do this real quick. This thing's about 100 thousandths long. It's not a critical length anyway. It's just a handle. Alright, I just wanted to face that end, and I'll tell you what I might do actually. while I'm here, I may just file it a little bit. I don't think it's going to matter at all. This is that handle like I showed you earlier. This is, I got to have two of them, so this is just the second one. And just going to turn this around, and this will probably be the end we put the radius on. It's not a critical radius of any kind, just something to make it a little more comfortable when you're grabbing that handle so it don't rip your hand open or something. And so let's face it off. I could set this, we probably need to take about 50 off of it. Let's set the Z and let's just move it in about, just go ahead and take 50 off right here and see what it, we ought to take that cut easy enough. This cold roll stuff ain't nothing. All right. So now, what I was doing earlier, and I doubt you can see this. Sorry about this. I just don't think you can see very well, but I'm telling you, I put a little taper on this first just to give it a little head start on making that radius. In fact, let me just, this kind of stuff here I wish you could see, because any of you guys that haven't done a lot of this, which is pretty rare that anybody hasn't done more stuff than I have. I'm sure not an expert on this stuff. I'm going to try to reach around you, and you can see this little 45-degree angle tool here. I'm just going to kind of cut pretty aggressive on that just to give it a little taper, and then we'll pull in that radius tool here in a minute and try to shape the end of it to make it smoother. Just getting a little extra oil in there, and taking real light cuts on here because I don't really, kind of a lot of surface area there. You can dang sure get some chatter. Alright, that just gives it a little, see, that just gives it a little head start. Now we can go in with this little chamfer tool here. And I wish you could look straight down on this, but I can't really get you in there any better. So you can kind of eyeball this. You try not to cut to where you make a line in here, but see, that touched the end right there. So I'm going to back, I can watch my DRO and I'll move that off about a thou or two. And so I'm not really touching it there. That's about 5 off. So then we'll come in here. See, that's kind of touching in the radius. I know you can't see that. It's very sorry about that. I'm just going to turn it on, and we're just going to touch this and kind of shape this a little bit. Put plenty of oil in here because there's a lot of surface here. You can get chatter in there. And we want to turn this down. Let's turn the speed down on this lathe to, I mean, probably pretty slow. Let's go down to 190 RPM and see how that does. And I'm just going to feed in on the X just a little bit. And it's shaping pretty good there. See, I don't like how that's making that line right here at all. So I'm going to come back in this way a little bit. And I don't like that at all. So that's where you can really, you know, have some issues when you're not, I don't really know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just doing stuff. So now See how that little line is in there? There's a little bit of a line there. You can file that and shape that, you know, with a file and just get rid of that. But you've got a smooth little radius now, so that's really what we was trying to do. And I'll run this back up to about 300 RPMs and kind of file on this a little bit. Just trying to get rid of that little line there. I shouldn't have made. I had it in the wrong position basically there, so. Got some more files here that I got from Fireball Tool that haven't used much yet to see how they work. I wish I had a piece of sandpaper over here, but I don't. Yeah, I guess I got one. The other one went a little smoother than this. I don't know what I did wrong. Alright, it's smooth. It's pretty smooth now. Just taking a little Scotch-Brite. Go ahead and slick it up a little bit there. This is cold roll. You're not going to get a real good finish on it. Very easy anyway. So anyway, that's good enough for what we're doing here. I'm just going to bolt that in to that deal. I didn't show you. Well, I showed you earlier how I screwed that onto there, and I've already just barely deburred that so it sits flat on that bracket. So we'll just stick it back in here. What we need to do now is to drill a hole and tap that, and just another redneck deal here, but it's hard for you to see, I'm sure, but let's get this out of the way. What's going to be bad is I'm going to have to move you because I got to move this up here so the tailstock can get up here close. Unless I can move this way into here without it making sure this is not going to hit something. See how you can see that. I think you can see that. Maybe if I move this handle. Yeah, maybe you can see it. If I leave you right there, maybe I'll have room to work. Okay. All right, let's see if I can get this. I just need to drill a hole and tap that 5/16 right there. I need my oil here so I can oil this down a little bit here. Just to drill that out. Just kind of get a center drill in there and oh, I didn't get us back in gear, did I? Whoop. That's 300, that ought to work. Woo! That wasn't 300, that was 2,000. I couldn't see from over there. Here we go, 460, that'll work for that. All right, there's a little center drill to get us going, and then we're going to drill this. I already forgot what it is. I don't have the chart here. I think it's a letter F for 5/16. I had it laying here earlier, so this is it, I believe. All right. Need to get that in there at least an inch. That bolt's kind of long, so get some oil on there. This old cold roll's kind of gummy, so I bet that's plenty deep enough to run that tap in there. So, don't really have my air over here. I need the air hose. We was out there messing with the tractor earlier. All right, now let's put that tap in there. I usually go ahead and chamfer that hole a little bit just to make sure we got a good spot for that tap to run. And this is not the one I was using earlier. I don't know if this one will get in there good. Seems like I've done too many things since I did this. I'm hoping that will reach in there. Let's try it. I bet that's plenty good. Alright, when we tap that, we want to slow this thing way down and get us plenty of oil on this. This is a spiral flute tap, so it should bring all the chips out. But I need to run that down on low. Can't quite reach across you. Let's see. Let's run that thing, that tap. Let's go at about 70 RPM. Pretty dang slow. We're going to have to drag this tailstock in there with it, so put a lot of oil on that tap. And let's just shove it in there. See if it'll suck it in there just fine. And turn it backwards and get it out of there. Alrighty, let me grab the air hose and blow that out. Let's see. Got it way across the shop here. I think I've got a bolt over here. I'll show you what bolt is going in that. I know I already showed you that one assembled, but I think I've got another bolt laying in the box. There we go. Where I had the parts. Let's see if we can reach around here with this hose. You know how messy this shop is right now. It's aggravating me, but let's just kind of blow this hole out. And since we chamfered around that earlier, it looks pretty good there, so I don't need to do that again. See if this 5/16 bolt's going to fit all the way in. I'd like it to bottom out in there good. Oh yeah, we got in there pretty good and deep, so that ought to work great. Okay, that part's done then. So let me back you up here out of my way again. And the other parts we just need to chamfer a little bit. And you know, I'll have to drill that kind of bracket that this screws down onto and countersink that, which I have to do off camera. I actually done it on my little mill over there. And that's what's going to hold that handle on, that's going to crank that thing. So that part's done. It wasn't too hard, except I had trouble with the dang finish on that. These, I've got a couple of these made, and all I need is to face them, make sure they're good and flat. And it calls for a 1/8 45-degree chamfer on one end. Just the pivot pin for that, so stick that in there. Let's just face that off with that same CCMT little tool. It works so good for about anything. That's my favorite one. This is a little 13x40 lathe that I know you can't see good. Let me put you back over here, and someday maybe I'll build a good camera mount that, like some people have, that you can see. But all right, let's run this at 460 RPMs and just face that. Set our Z, and let's come in about, made these a little extra long, so I don't know, let's take about 50 off each end. That'll be probably good. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't oil it. Probably should have. Okay. That one's just fine. just to break that edge. That one gets welded on, so let's just break the edge with a file. Just a little bit here. Not getting real crazy or nothing. These are all weld-on pins. And I always like to finish it with a little 3M Scotch-Brite red pad just to slick that up a little bit. Alright, I know you probably can't see none of this, but just kind of talking you through it here. This ain't nothing real exciting, I know. There's the result we got. It's just faced. We're going to turn it around. And we're going to face this end. I could measure that. We're looking for 2 3/4 on the length of these, so this will tell me kind of where we're at with this. I'm at 935, 2.935. Need to be at 2.750, so I could come off about a 200 on that. I don't know, let's take about 150 off of it, call it good. I think this is all weld together stuff. It's not extremely critical, but I need about 180 off really, but we'll see. Let's take about 150 or so off. 150, 60, somewhere around there. So we're touched off there. We'll zero the Z. Let's just come out about 60 at a time. 65, let's just gas on it. Let's put a little oil on there while we're doing it. There we go. Stuff's really soft. Alright, there's 60. Let's go up to 120. 125. Let's go ahead and hit that. Put a little oil on there again. And let's see, we were at 120. Let's go to about 170. 160, 170, right in there. Let's go 165. We'll be getting good enough for our total length right there. Alright. Now our total length is pretty dang close enough. All we need to do is just chamfer the end of that, just so it, because it's going to be a pivot pin that goes in a hole, so on there exactly. Anyway, you can kind of file around on this, finish shaping it the way you want it. Trying to get rid of that line. I think I'm making it worse, man. I don't know if this sandpaper's any good. Let's try it. Yeah, I'm making a mess of this. Anytime you turn the camera on, you make a mess, right? You know, that's, I had better luck on it earlier. Anyway, let's get this out of here where I can get a little more room to fix my screw up here. But anyway, I didn't have this trouble earlier. I had worked out pretty dang good on the last one. Let's try this. Smooth this up a little bit with a different file here. That file ain't working very good at all. Let's go back to this file. Trying to cover up my screw up here. That's the all. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go get some more sandpaper and bring it over here, and then I'll bring you back when I get to that other piece here in a minute. That didn't work too well, did it? We'll just kind of, I know you can't see this, sorry about that again, but, and let's turn it down for that tool. We don't need very fast. Let's go 190 on that. Need plenty of oil on that just to be sure it don't chatter and stuff. So let's put a little chamfer on that and I'll show you what it's looking like. And it's supposed to be about a 1/8 chamfer. It ain't gonna matter if it's a little more than that. It's just kind of pointing it so it goes in the hole pretty easy. That ought to be good. Move this a little bit out of the way. I don't know if you can see this. And let's file it. Just make sure it's nice and smooth so it's going in. When it goes in that plate for a pin, it's fairly smooth. Probably wouldn't hurt to run that radius tool on there, but it just calls for a little chamfer there. And we'll slick it up a little bit with this Scotch-Brite pad. And that's really all of this. I got one more to do. I won't bore you watching this, but let's see how we did on our length. We're looking for 2 3/4. Nothing real critical here about this, I don't think. There's our little chamfer we made and smoothed it up. So, see how we did on our length here. Looking for 2.750. We got 2.752 or 3. That's perfect. We missed it by about 2 thousandths, just kind of guesstimating there a little bit. So that's all. That may be what about all we end up with this week. Let me get you. I'll get you my ugly face in here. Ooh, move. You can see how dirty this shop is around here. And I mean, it's aggravating that this place is such a mess right now, but I got so many projects going on. Nothing pressing, just stuff I want to do, and I'm kind of in the middle of buying another truck. I'm trying to sell my pickup, kind of this time too. I got a tractor for sale, a pickup for sale. You know, trucks are high. I hadn't bought a new truck since 1999, and it's unbelievable. I bought a pickup in '99 that was diesel, brand new pickup, F-250, XLT, you know, pretty much everything that they offered at the time. Most part electric seats and windows and all that good stuff. I paid about 30 grand back then for it. I've had it, basically I've had this one for 18 years. I had another one that I had for 3.5 years that I traded for this one because this was a long bed. I may have told you that before. Anyway, I'm looking now to go down to an F-150 with an EcoBoost. It's got more power even than the 7.3. And I'm running back and forth. I drive 32 miles or so a day to work early in the morning. About 6 o'clock in the morning I leave here. And I just need something a little faster, better on fuel economy, not so big and heavy, but still have the power to pull when I need to. So, you know, and they're over about $45,000 for an XLT with not getting too many options on it. So now I'm going to sell a few things and try to pay a little money down and go ahead and get another truck. I hadn't had any truck payments in probably 15 years since I've had a truck payment. So pretty scary, but I'm just telling you, I've been busy doing things. So appreciate you watching. Let's just call this part 1 of this build. If you're interested in this metal brake, I can't really share these plans with you because I bought them, but go online and look for metal brake or contact me. I'll tell you where I bought this one, and it's we'll see what's wrong with I found a few errors in the drawings on this, but overall it's not bad. I think it's going to work out for what I need. Let me turn you around. I've been doing some milling and it is a big mess here. Some of this old material I've been using was stuff my dad gave me. You know, well, just for instance, I won't go on too long. I know this is wiggling everywhere. But I kind of milled some of this material down. Got you at an angle there. Kind of milled the mill scale and the rust off of it, but some of that 1/2-inch plate came from this. Whoa, I have to drop it. Well, that's how rough that is. So I milled about 5/1000ths off of this just to clean it up. And it took forever and made a heck of a mess everywhere, but that's kind of what I've been doing over this weekend. This is Sunday evening now. It's 4:30. I got to start cleaning this mess up. My grandson's here. I'm fixing to have company. My parents are coming over. I cooked brisket last night, and this is some of the parts that we're making here. So that's kind of where we ended up this time. Let's just see if we can make another part for this, and that's where we ended up this week. Thanks for watching. See you next time.